Hello guys, today I will introduce about Habitat for Humanity Canada, which is a non-profit organization that about try to give people more shelters and housings. First part I will introduce the relationship between this organization and the city. The city is an action led by the people locally to create economic opportunities and better social conditions. And its approach like recognize the deep economic, environment, and social challenges and try to solve them by the local people, members from the community. So these organizations did like this. They create economic opportunities. They build up a lot of house for the local people, and everyone could apply them. And those people are engaged to work in the organizations as volunteers since they get their own houses. So recognize the local problem and then solved by the local members. Back to the time around 50 years before, there was a farm and two persons who are called Jordan and Fuller. These two persons developed a concept which is called partnership housing, and this idea will include people who need shelters like home or house. So they just ask them to work together as volunteers in the organizations in the group to build up a house and selling them without any profit. So if any person want to apply a house, they just need to ask them and work for them as a kind of volunteers to exchange the own house. In 1973, the Fullers decided to bring the concept to the Zaire, which is the Democratic Republic of Congo right now. After 3 years of hard work to launch a successful house building program there, the Fullers then returned to the United States, tried to get more investment, and they just called together a group of supporters to discuss about the future. So then they decided to make another program which is called Habitat of Humanity International. From that time, this group has grown up to an international organization. Founded in 1976, Habitat for Humanity International has since grown to become a global non-profit organization working in more than 70 countries, including Canada. The Habitat movement first spread to Canada in 1985, when the country's first Habitat home was built in Winkler, which is in the Manitoba, and after 2 years, Winnipeg became the first local Habitat in Canada. So from that time, Canada has their own organizations, just local one. And today, Habitat of Humanity Canada has a leading national non-profit with local habitats working in every province. With the help of the local habitats, volunteers, and homeowners, they provide solid foundations of thousands of families to lead a better, healthier life in Canada. This picture will introduce us about how the organization works and also its cash flow, where the money goes. So for the beginnings, they just receive some investment from the bank without any loan or maybe some donations, the first step of the budget, and use this budget to build some house. And then they sell in them house, but also in the budget price. That is pretty low, everybody can afford it. Try to make sure. Then all the payments combined with non-interest bonds turn to another new round of the revolving fund. And this fund will be the new budget to build another new house. Just make a circling. Houses payments, another new houses. One by one. Just make sure give everybody the choice of opportunity to get a house in a budget price. But if anybody want to apply this kind of house in the good price, there's only one conditions for them. They have to work as a volunteer in the group in the organizations. So The conditions help them to can band together, work side by side to build up some adorable house. In 2014, the organization introduced the Federation to a version 2020. This is a new strategic direction for the organization, which was intended to be a catalyst for the renewed mission motivation over the following 5 years. After the version 2020 was developed in the fall of 2014, a widespread consultative process of communicating the version 2020 to external and internal stakeholders was implemented in order to gather feedback. Version 2020 was well received and excitement was generated regarding the promise of a more robust federation strategy directions. Critical elements contained within the version 2020 include 5 core pillars and their standard for the homes. The housing innovation, optimal performance, mobilized leadership, impact engagement, and sustainable funding. At its heart was newly proposed organization motto, also referred to the burning implement, always think family first. According to the annual report and financial statement in 2018, the Habitat for Humanity Canada did a really good job to help the local people and community development. There are over 200 families began building their own strength, stability, and independence from this program, and over 1,000 people were trained at the same time. So as we mentioned before, there's one condition for any person who wants to apply a house is that the new owners should get into the organizations and work side by side as volunteers. So those people who got into the job, they learn some new skills maybe, and after they building the house, they can move to the other career, turn to the other jobs, other company, even other industries, whatever. But those families, they not only get their own house, but at the same time they learn something new. Maybe they can get a good job and maybe they can afford themselves. So let's just match the cradle of the company before. They try to build not only the house, it's a shelters, it's to increasing the quality of the life. And about the financial statement, at the end of the 2018, the total assets was over $8 billion. And those money, because it's a non-profit organization, and those money will turn into another fund for the next year to the operations maybe. And as we know, the more money they have, the more operation fund they have, the more house they will build and the more people they will help. When it comes to the opportunities and challenges they are facing right now, the first thing we should understand is about its nature. This is a non-profit organization and majorly focusing on the housings and property. So all the housings will be built without any profit, and even the labor cost, because the new owners should get into the organization, work side by side as volunteers to help build another house. Without any profit and labor cost, the price will be adorable for them and easy to afford by all the families should be. And there is another program which is about the restores. So the housing is not only things they are doing right now. The restores will provide products in good quality, but still in the lower price because there's still no profit from the stores. So these two programs just get into a system. The first step, they offer people to have a place to live in, offer them a home. Second step, help them to learn some skills to build up their own career, and they can make life by themselves to afford a lot of things. The third thing is the restores, and from the restores they can maintain their life quality. And the next step we should see is about the opportunities. It's the environment maybe. So the organization can get another program which is about recycling to encourage reduce the pollutions and improving the environment, natural environment for the people. So all the things together will come in together will just match the principle of this organization to help the people have a better and healthier living conditions. Also, when it's talking about the challenge they are facing, well, this organization is non-profit, absolutely, but they still have a lot of partners, and some partners are commercial business. So which means like the whole supply chain, maybe some parts of the whole supply chain still have profit. So which means that to the end, the final price, retail price of the homes, maybe we can see the book price, still have space to reduce the price because some of the supply chains take the profit. Maybe the organization try to build up their own supply chains, but it will take a long time. It won't be do so fast. The other challenge they are facing right now is about the professionalism, because there is a lot of volunteers working in the organizations, and maybe they are not well skilled. Yes, they are a good person. They want to help people, but it doesn't mean they do have some skills or well trained. This is the reference led to for this presentation, and thank you for your attention.